Hi, welcome back to another episode of Soulful Sundays with Madge. I thank you so much for being on this journey with me. I thank you again for tuning in another week with me. And if you like what you are hearing and receiving, I ask that you please hit that like button and ring that bell. So let's just go ahead and get started. So this week we are discussing who are you chasing? Um, and I received the message to share this with you, my thoughts on who you're chasing. Um, Not too long ago, for most of my life, the image that I chased was not of me. The image was of someone who either I've known all my life, or an image on social media, someone that I may have encountered in life. And I never really realized that I could chase myself, that image of who I could choose to be inspired to be could be myself. Um, I think back to even a young age, maybe even when I was like 10. I can remember a dear cousin of mine, and she's still very dear to me. Um, she still is very beautiful. Very beautiful. She was popular. Um, she always had the cutest outfit, the cutest hairstyles. I can remember the boys loving her, wanting for her to be their girlfriend. And I was 10. And I think back to that and I say, at what age, at what time in my life, from birth up until maybe 10, was it taught to me that being who I was created to be was not good enough, wasn't pretty enough, wasn't likable enough, that I had to look outward at someone else to imagine myself being that person, and not realizing that I am just as worthy as being someone to idolize. I can idolize my own self. I don't have to seek to look at someone else's life and think that that's the person who I was created to be. So, back to this particular cousin, I can remember, so I touched on how I viewed her, right? Uh, you know, like I said, just beautiful, nice shape, hair always done, and the cutest hairstyles. And I idolized her. I wanted to be her, because even at 10, being me was not good enough. It wasn't going to make me feel confident and happy in who I was born to become. So I can remember that there was these really popular Nikes. Now, they became popular because there was a movie that made the Nikes popular. So the movie was either Boys in the Hood or Menace to Society. So there were these popular Nikes, and so she had them. And so I'm like, you know what? I gotta have those same shoes, because she has those shoes and she's beautiful, she wears them well, and if I get those shoes, guess what? I am going to, in my mind, I was going to feel about myself the way I see her, right? So I see her to be all these great, I see her to embody like so much, so many different characteristics that I'm like, if I get these shoes, I'm gonna be her. I'm gonna feel about myself. I'm gonna have a confidence about myself, and I am going to be popular, and I'm gonna feel popular. I'm gonna feel so pretty, and I'm gonna look good wearing them. So I can remember I begged my father. I says, "Okay, Dad." Now my father, he was married. My mother passed away. So me and my brother, we grew up in a single parent household. And great father, he always made sure that we were very well taken care of. However, you know, he was not always able to just get us every little thing that we wanted or we desired. But we never had a want. And many of our desires were met. So anyways, I begged my dad for these shoes because I'm just like, I'm gonna be her when I get these shoes, right? So I get the shoes, and I was happy when I got the shoes, right? So I get the shoes and I'm excited because I'm like, I got them, right? So I put them on, I wear them to school, but on the inside I was still Madge. I was still awkward. I still didn't look at myself as how I viewed this particular cousin. So basically, I wasn't her, and I didn't feel like her. And in a moment, I felt good having the shoes, but so externally, in that moment, I felt good having those shoes, but internally, I was still myself. I still did not feel good about who I was. So even at 10, and I have no clue how I was taught this, but even at 10, I had no concept that looking outwardly and envisioning who I'm supposed to be and how I'm supposed to feel based off someone else's life and what it looks like to me would not ever put me on a journey to be fulfilled internally. It would never give me the ability to truly love who I am, right? Because I would always be chasing someone else and what they're doing. So let's fast forward a little bit in life. So my brother, you know, I guess the best way I could explain my brother is somewhat of like all-American, right? He has the athletic ability, once again popular, good looking, you know, dressed well. He ended up getting a full scholarship to play football. He did everything right. And then there was me, and it wasn't that I did anything wrong in life. It's just, I guess what I'm gonna say is this. Now looking at it, now at the time, my brother's 5 years older than me. So, so at the time he was excelling in life, but he really took off in high school and beyond, and he's still very successful in life. But at the time, what I didn't realize is whether consciously or subconsciously, my brother was living in his purpose. So because he was living in his purpose, he had this perfect alignment. So like everything that he did, it was heightened. And it was heightened because he was living a life of non-resistance, where he was just flowing. He was just going in the direction that he was supposed to be going in. Well, at that age, I didn't know anything about living in your purpose or being in alignment, whether you're aware of it or not, right? So for me, looking at it, when I looked at my brother, I always just felt like, gosh, he does everything right. It's just so easy for him, right? Why is it harder for me to live up to my brother? And, and I can remember, so I'll give you an example. So once again, he got a full ride to school. So when it was time for me to graduate high school, I felt this pressure that, okay, if my brother went to college, that means that I'm supposed to go to college, because everyone's now looking at me like, well, look at your brother. He's had such great successes so far in life. What are you going to do with yourself? So once again, now here we are. I'm 18, but nowhere am I thinking, who am I? Okay, what is the image of yourself? What are you supposed to be doing? So I'm chasing someone else's image, right? I'm chasing my brother's image because he went to college, so that means I should go to college. So what I did was I went to the same exact college as my brother, because in my mind, I'm like, okay, so he's successful, he's passing his classes, he's having a good time, he has all these friends, he's making his own schedule. He's living he's having a great college experience. So I'm going to follow this blueprint because it's failure proof. Like I won't fail at this because look at him. If I follow him, if I chase what he is doing and I do the same exact thing, how could it not work for me? Well, maybe sometimes it does work, right? Maybe sometimes we follow someone else's blueprint and we are able to externally produce. But I wonder if we find fulfillment. I wonder if we end up in a place where we're like, I'm doing this, but I'm just not really happy. I feel like I'm missing something. I feel like there's something else that I should be doing in my life, right? So there's that way of thinking. But in my case, I didn't find success chasing my brother's image. So one thing is, he had a full scholarship. A full athletic scholarship. I didn't. So financially, what happened was my father had to help a lot. And there was times where I'm almost certain there was probably bills that my father wasn't paying because he was having to purchase books for me every semester and make sure I'm eating and I have gas and, all these expenses that he didn't encounter with my brother, he was encountering with me. So I didn't realize at that time also non-resistant and resistant, right? So I was encountering a lot of resistance, but I felt the need to keep going, because I'm like, if I don't keep going, what are people gonna think about me? What are people gonna say? Look at your brother. Look at what he's doing. Look how successful he is. How do you drop out of college when you have a brother that just graduated, that's doing all these great things, and look at you, once again, here you are, the child that is not a bad child, or a child that's causing, a lot of stress on your parent, but you're just not your brother. But once again, no one ever sat me down and said, it's okay not to be your brother. You're Madge. It's okay to not feel like you have to do what he's doing, because you're Madge. What do you want to do with your life? What do you think that you're good at? How do you see yourself? No one was teaching me these things. It was just, yeah, look at your brother. He's doing good. Yeah, let's try to make this work, right? I can remember my face. I was breaking out so bad because I was so stressed out. I was stressed because I wanted to leave. I wanted to leave because I knew the financial strain that it was placing on my father. I wanted to leave because how can you even be excited about the semester you're in when you're like, how am I going to afford the next semester, right? So after about a year or so, I made the decision to leave. Now, the good news is that I did go on to go back to school to further my education, and I got my degree. Yay. However, I have a lot of loans now. And I wonder, had I not felt the need to chase someone else's image, would I have all the loans that I have now? Could I have saved myself some time and energy and money? Maybe. And then I can remember maybe sometime like in August, Spirit spoke to me. God, my holy angels, you may have the universe or whatever higher power source of energy that you connect with. But it was like, get off social media. And it wasn't really like get off forever, or you can't log in sometimes, but it just was really heavy on me to just scale back. So at one point, I think I deleted it off my phone. Right now I can have it on my phone and just stay logged out, right? But something was like, Spirit, God said, remove yourself. So what happened was, when I stopped, and here's the funny thing, I believed, which was probably true in that moment in time before I removed myself from being on social media so heavy, I believed that I really wasn't on social media heavy. I'm like, Facebook probably get a total of 5 minutes out my day. I scroll, right? I scroll, whatever I see, right? But what I realized is it actually was having a hold on me. Like, it was something that I was doing in the morning, during my idle time. I'm like, let me scroll the timeline. Let me see what's going on social media. But anyway, so Spirit says, get off social media. So, and I always say this because it truly is a journey. It's truly a process of when you get to a point where intuitively you're able to understand the spirit that's down on the inside of you that gives you these signs, these symbols, these different thoughts to not do something, to do something, to look into something, to not look into something. You know, it's just truly tuning in to yourself. So at this point in time in my life, my faith and my intuitive nature has really strengthened, right? Because when it first starts to happen, you're unsure, but as you continue to follow hunches and little, I like to say little, I don't know, little golden nuggets or whatever, you know, you begin to follow these little leads and you receive favor, you receive blessings, and you remember. And this is what allows you to have faith and to continue to have faith and continue to trust when you receive these little nudges to do these things, right? So when I got that nudge to slow down on social media, I listened. And I don't always understand why, right? But I'm at the point now where it's like, I don't gotta understand everything. I don't have to know what's coming next. I'm just gonna listen because I believe that it's for my greater good, whether I know how it's going to work out or why I'm being told to do this, right? So what happened was, what I didn't realize is that social media had a space in my life. Like, whether you realize it or not, like, it was taking up a space, right? So when I removed social media out of my life, or out of that certain space and within my life, it was empty. So that emptiness creates a void. Like, well, what do you do with this emptiness? It's almost like a hunger, right? You're starving a part of you. And it's like, well, I need something. I'm thirsty for something. I'm hungry for something. Well, what are you going to do to replace what you took from me? You know, that's how I was feeling, like I got to replace something. So what happened was, I started to read more. I started to pray more. I started to meditate more. I started to have more fellowship with God. I started asking questions. I started probing myself. I started journaling. You know, I started doing all of these positive things. And what happened was, I started to get images of myself. I started to get images of who I can potentially be. And what I didn't realize was that if I would have been on social media, I could have very well been looking at other people's lives, saying, you know what, that looks fun. Maybe I should do that. Or, yeah, that looks like a really good idea. Well, look at her. She went off and she's doing this. Maybe that's what I'll do. Like, taking in so much from other people that, you know, I wouldn't have even realized that when little images or little hunches or any little thing coming to me that I might need to follow, a lead, an intuitive lead that I need to follow, I might become distracted and not even acknowledge that thought, or be distracted and not even acknowledge that thought because I'm too busy looking at someone else's destiny, someone else's purpose, and thinking that that's the way I need to go. Because for some reason, no one taught me or told me that I have my own unique purpose. You have your own unique purpose. And that the image that you should chase, the image that you should be looking towards, is your very own self, right? But had I been on social media so heavy, I wouldn't have even been able to decipher or to recognize the signs and the symbols that were showing me who I am, who I have the potential to become, the potential to continue to be, as long as I hold on to that image. So now when I am on social media, it's a healthy balance, and I'm still finding my way. I'm not on it the way I once was, but and I can honestly say I've always been pretty like, kudos to you in life. Like, whoever you are, whatever you're doing, like, yeah, do your thing. Like, I love it. I love love. I love to see people be successful. And that's just who I am. But I do recognize, like, sometimes we look at other people's picture or post or a moment in their life, and we see that one moment, and sometimes that one moment can make us feel like we're behind the ball on time, or that there's things in life that we should have accomplished that we still haven't accomplished yet, and then it makes us down on ourselves. It makes us feel like we're not where we're supposed to be. But I'm starting to feel like maybe sometimes the reason why we're feeling that way is because we haven't really tapped into who we are, what we're supposed to be doing in our lives. So that way, it's like when we see that post or we see those people doing what they're doing, we can still be like, yes, beautiful. But I have this image. It's been revealed to me, like, who I am, the potential of who I am, and what I'm called to be, and what my destiny is. And that's who I'm chasing. I seen it. It was revealed to me. Like, I know who that girl, that woman, or that man is called to be doing in life. So I can look at you, I can look at a picture, I can look at a post, and I can be so happy for you because you are doing what you're supposed to be doing, hopefully. But I gotta stay focused on my image of myself, my calling of myself, where I'm supposed to be going in life, because that's who I'm chasing. I want to chase me. I want to chase who God called me to be. I want to look towards my image, so even when I'm down and I'm struggling and I'm questioning, like, God, why do I feel like that today? Why did this happen? Why is this happening in my life? Why is this showing up? And I can still say, you know what? It's serving a purpose for my greater good. Even if I can't see it on the other side, I can't see it quite yet. You showed me an image of my potential. You showed me an image of what I can be in life, and that is what I'm going to hold on to. And so when I have those moments of weakness, those moments of doubt, those moments where I'm crying and I'm like, God, I don't know how much more I can take, then I remember that image. And I'm like, you know what? I'm built for this. Because whatever is going on in this moment is a moment. And it holds no precedence into the next moment. Because I have an image of who I am called to be, and that is what I'm chasing. So, my thoughts is, I went close to 30 years looking at others, thinking that if it worked for them, maybe that's what I'm supposed to be doing. But not once did I ever pray and ask for signs, for symbols, or guidance on who I am. What am I supposed to be doing in my life? It took me 30 plus years to get to this place. And I don't even want to make it so much about how many years you're at, because I like to believe that like once you tap into it, you begin to realize that even though you're like, okay, or even though I'm like, you know what, it took me 30 plus years to get to this place, I'm still able to look at those 30 years and be so appreciative and say, you know what, I really wouldn't have it any other way, because I can't say for sure that it would have been any other way that I would be who I am in this moment. And I am proud of who I am in this moment. And I want you to be proud of who you are in this moment, and the next moment, and every moment moving forward when you wake up. So, you can just think about seeking and asking for guidance on what is it that you're chasing. Is the image of you, or is the image of someone else? And find out if what you're chasing is truly who you are called to be. And I thank you so much for being on this journey with me. I hope that I have given you something to think about. And I want you to have a good week. And I look forward to seeing you here with me next week. Thank you. Have a good day.